Ready, go.
My name is Kofi, and remember school, you learn from my family. Shosho! My name is Bryson, and my hero is Moses, and he turned air into water, and he gave water to Flint. My name is Dorothy. I live Ruby in the community. I live a mini my third favorite blue. My name is Albert. My hero is Henry Morgan. He told the black boys how to cut hair at Tower Barber College. My name is Zion and Zinga. My hero is Hasib and Zinga, the new Black Panther Party to help fight justice. Black power! My name is Simani. My school is Belmont College. Black learners are the community. And we're the founders, Sophia B. Packard, Harriet E. Child. My uncle name is Baba. I'm here. That makes people feel better.
Good.
My name is Zola Clemens. My mom, Dr. Rial Clemens, is an OBGYN who works at a healthy woman where she delivers babies and takes care of women. Dr. Jocelyn Slaughter started the Healthy Woman. You will need, she needs, we together the trees and the community. You will need, she needs, we together the trees and the community. You will need, she needs, we together the trees and the community.
In concert, concert.
In concert, in concert, in concert, in concert, in concert, in concert.
Community.
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 Attention.
Attention. K-I-F-O-N-B-O. Hello, my name is Fannie Lou Hamer. I was born in Montgomery, Mississippi on October 6, 1917, to Luella and James Johnson. As an 8-year-old child, while picking cotton, I saw my man lynched. I experienced so much injustice. I married Harry Hamer in 1944. I listened to activists from SNCC and SDLC, and I became active. I wanted my people to have the right to vote. So in 1954, I co-founded the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. We challenged the Democratic Party and demanded to be recognized to make an integrated delegation happen. I also helped to organize Freedom Summer. We helped to organize hundreds of students to help our people register to vote. We've been down so long, we ain't got no other way to go but up. Hi, my name is Marcus Garvey. I'm a Pan-Africanist. That means I believe in black people should return to Africa. I founded the UNIA, or the Universal Negro Improvement Association. We had our own schools. We had a business called the Black Star Line. Africa for Africans, at home in the black. One God, one aim, one destiny. Up your mighty ways, accomplish what you wish. Good evening, everybody. My name is Madam C.J. Walker. I was born on December 23rd, 1867 in Delta, Louisiana. My parents were Owen Breedlove and Roberta Breedlove. This is my story. I created a business. My business made hair supplies for black women. The name of my business was Madam Walker's Wonderful Hair Grower. I learned about hair care from my brothers, who were barbers. Then I began to develop my own product line. Through my business, I became the first black millionaire. This is what I say. I am not merely satisfied in making money for myself, for I am endeavoring to provide employment for hundreds of women of my race. I want to say to every Negro woman present, don't sit down and wait for the opportunities to come. Get up and make them.
Presentations of the powerful Mutulu Shakur. Mutulu Shakur was born Daniel Williams in Baltimore, Maryland on August 8th, 1950. Mutulu Shakur's mom was Dolores Porter. Mutulu Shakur was part of many organizations. Who worked to uplift the black community. BBIA ran the Republic of New Africa, director of Lincoln Detox Center, BAANA, and NAPA. Mutulu Shakur took care of his mother when she was blind at the age of 4. He moved to New York at the age of 7. He was trained by the followers of Malcolm X. Mutulu Shakur spent the majority of his time fighting for the liberation of black people. We end this presentation with a quote from Mutulu Shakur. We must have more love for each other.
Hi everybody, my name is Phoenix Knight, and my Shiro project is Stacey Abrams. That is a picture of her and her family. She was born in December 1973. She was born in Wisconsin, but she grew up in Mississippi. Her parents are Carolyn and Robert Abrams. Her work is Fair Count and Fair Fight. In 2018, Stacey Abrams started Fair Count and Fair Fight to help make sure everyone has a chance to vote. An interesting fact about Stacey Abrams is Stacey Abrams writes romantic novels or books about love. Stacey Abrams quote, "Democracy only works when we work for it, when we fight for it, and when we demand it." Thank you for watching my presentation.
My name is Carson Isaiah Carolina. My hero is Malcolm X. Malcolm X was born on May 19, 1925. Malcolm X was born in Omaha, Nebraska. Malcolm X's parents were Earl and Louise Little. Malcolm X was a part of the Nation of Islam, which is a black nationalist organization. Malcolm X left the Nation of Islam in 1964. After he left, he founded the Muslim Mosque Inc. in the Afro-American Unity organizations. A famous quote from Malcolm X is, "A man who stands for nothing will fall for anything."
Hi, my name is Booker T. Washington. I was born into slavery. I was a self-made man, founder of Tuskegee University, and a father to the prisoners. If you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. I am Marcus Mosiah Garvey. I was born August 17, 1887 in St. Anne's Bay, Jamaica. I created the Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA. UNIA worked for the improvement of African people around the world. Isn't motto one God, one aim, one destiny. Marcus Garvey believed uniting blacks was the only way to improve their condition. Africans for Africa at home and abroad. Marcus Garvey
believe that black people should return to Africa and their own nation. Marcus Garvey introduced the red, black, and green flag to represent Pan-Africanism. Red the blood, green the black the people, and green land. Pan-Africanism is the belief that people should, with African ancestors, should be united. I am black and proud like Marcus Garvey.
I am Bobby Seale. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, founded by Bobby Seale and Huey Newton. It started in 1966 at Merritt College in Oakland, California. They believed in armed protest like Malcolm X. They made survival programs like the free clothing program and the free breakfast program and the free food program and the free health clinic and newspapers and schools. The key people leaders of the Black Panther Party are Fred Hampton, Angela Davis, Assata Shakur, Elaine Brown, and Stokely Carmichael. The revolution has always been in the hands of the young. The young always inherit the revolution. By Huey Newton.
I am Malcolm X. I was born on May 19, 1925 on Omaha, Nebraska. My mother is Louis Little. My father is Earl Little. I fought my whole life for the liberation of black people, physically and mentally. I am both known for my great speeches. I am the member of the Nation of Islam. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Hi, my name is Mary McAppleton, and today I will be telling you about my story. I was born July 10, 1875, near Maysville, South Carolina. My parents are Sam Bethune and Patsy McLeod. The organization that I founded was named Daytona Educational and Industrial Training School for Negro Girls, now Bethune-Cookman University. Here's one of the quotes that I really like to say. A woman is free if she lives by her own standards and creates her own destiny. If she prides her individuality and puts no boundaries on her personal life. My early life. Both of my parents and most of my 16 siblings were former slaves. I was the only one in my family that went to school. I loved to read. My teacher was Emma Jane Wilson. My impact. When I was younger, I knew education was very important, so I decided to become a teacher. I didn't stop there. As mentioned before, in 1904, I founded a school and named it Daytona Educational and Industrial Training School for Negro Girls. I strongly believe education can help our people succeed in life. I am proud to say that my school exists more than 100 years later. Now it's Bethune-Cookman University. I love our people and the education that they get. Happy National Women's Month.
My name is Kwaku. I am a future member of Kemet. Kemet is saying the Brotherhood of Kemet was founded on January 11, 1988. Kemet began with 10 Morehouse students. Kemet is an African brotherhood based on the principles, custom, and tradition put forth by our ancestors. The name Kemet means the land of blacks, and is the original name of Egypt, as established by its African inhabitants.
Kemet Asin is an organization of African men bound together by four fundamental principles. African is the center. African women, our mothers and sisters, are keepers of the center. Family is basis of African life. One must better oneself to better serve the needs of one's people. We, the men of Kemet, have the liberation of African world at home and in the diaspora as our ultimate goal. To become a member of Kemet, you have to go through an African rites of passage at least for 10 weeks. The rites of passage process is called the crossing. My Baba was on the 5th crossing. He wanted to have a chance to be inside an organization with positive black men. My Baba was very excited about this. I have been blessed with many uncles who are in Kemet. One of them is Baba Zaki, also known as Kokaye Kemet. Some other members of Kemet are Mina Foley, Molefi Asante, Obi Shabaka Kemet, and Khatib Kemet. Eddie adopted from the group Last Poets. Blessed are those who struggle. Oppression is worse than the grave. Better to die for a noble cause than live and die as a slave. Kemet's slogan, build black men, transforming African communities. And thank you for watching my presentation.
I am Yasset Howard, and today I'll be presenting to you Vernon Johns. Hello, my name is Vernon Johns. I was born in Darlington Heights, Virginia. My birthday is April 22, 1892. I was an American minister and civil rights activist. I graduated from Virginia Theological Seminary to Willie Johns, a farmer, peddler, and Baptist teacher. I worked on a farm growing up. My parents did not have enough money to send me to school, so I educated myself while I worked. I saw plowing and breeding at the same time. I taught myself Greek, Latin, Hebrew, and German. I like being able to travel light, sometimes packing all my belongings in a paper bag. One of my favorite quotes is, "If you see a good fight, get in it." Thank you.
Hello, I am Dr. Gerda Nicholas, and I am the president of IIT Community Trust, otherwise known as ACT. ACT was founded by me and one of my friends and colleagues, Pierre Imber, whose work led us to realize that IIT moved beyond short-term relief-driven aid. IIT's people and its friends would need to join together and build the country's strengths on its founding promise as the land of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Our mission is to support and sustain development innovation in IIT in the areas of civic education, environment, and entrepreneurship. At the end of every president's message, I sign off by saying "in solidarity." And there's a common phrase in Haitian Creole that represents this ideal, "Mettez tête ensemble." This saying is used to describe how people come together. It means put our heads or minds together. It also means how unity. The word tête means head or mind, and the word ensemble means together. This is me doing a Black History Month event in Miami-Dade College. And this is my bibliography.
I am Kathy Hughes.
I was born in Omaha, Nebraska in 1947. I was born the first out of 4 children, and my favorite thing to do as a child was listen to the radio. And I was always motivated to tell stories of Black people from their point of view. My first job in the radio station was at Harvard University Communication School. During my time there, I upgraded the station's revenue from $250,000 to $3 million in my first year. I also became the first vice president and general sales manager of a station in the nation's capital. In 1980, I purchased my own radio station, WOLAM, in Washington, D.C., producing another new and interesting format, 24-hour talk show from a Black perspective. I created the popular radio format known as The Quiet Storm, which has been copied throughout radio stations for decades. A quote of mine is, "We are all faced with a series of great opportunities disguised as impossible situations." My fight for reparations as a Black woman includes founding several well-known media companies such as Radio One and Urban One, which includes 56 stations and my own channel, TV1. Thank you for listening. I'm Kathy Hughes.
Hello, my name is Dr. Huey P. Newton. On February 17th, 1942, I, Dr. Huey Percy Newton, was born, but you guys can address me as Dr. Newton. I was born youngest of seven siblings in Monroe, Louisiana, and when I was a toddler, me and my family moved to Oakland, California. My purpose of joining the BPP, or Black Panther Party, was to protect African American neighborhoods from police brutality. One interesting fact about me is I joined I helped get the first Afro-American history course adapted into the college's curriculum. Another interesting fact about me is from a show called The Boondocks. There's a character called Huey Freeman, and he was heavily inspired by me. Here's a comparison of both of us. One of my most famous quotes and a favorite quote of mine is, "You can jail the revolutionary, but you can't jail the revolution." I founded the Black Panther Party with my friend Bobby Seale, and at the time he was 25 and I was 19. Thank you for your time.
The Nation of Islam by Sanaa Hassan. Hello, I am a part of a religious organization called the Nation of Islam that was created by African Americans in the first half of the 20th century. Our nation began during the Great Depression when a group of us African Americans came together with a mission to bring back the spiritual, abstract, social, and productive positions of Blacks in the United States. Some of the key people in our organization are Elijah Muhammad, Wallace Muhammad, and Malcolm X. Wallace Fard Muhammad is the founder of the organization. Our organization shows fairness and equality because they encourage racial unity. We also provide self-independence and a firm code of control over the members. Since the U.S. did not want to let Black people take whole part in the American dream, and our people didn't want to go back to the motherland, our organization realized there needed to be a different approach. Power to the people. Thank you for listening.
Hello, I am Booker T. Washington, and I was born into slavery on a small farm in Halesford, Virginia, April 1856. I was freed at 9 years old, June 19, 1865, and moved to West Virginia. In 1872, I walked 500 miles to Hampton and received high grades. When I graduated from Wayland Seminary, I soon created the Tuskegee Institute.
I established the Tuskegee Institute in 1881 and was their principal until 1915. I gave the Atlanta Compromise speech on September 18, 1895, and said, "Cast down your bucket where you are." It means you have valuable resources in front of you, right where you are. Our programs serve a student body that is integrated, as well as racially, ethically, and religiously unique. This institute inspired my principles of providing practical training for African Americans in economic self-reliance and the proficiency of physical traits and agricultural skills. Thank you for listening.
Hello, I am George Washington Carver. I was born in Diamond, Missouri into slavery on January 1st, 1861. I was born to an enslaved woman named Mary, and my dad died before I was born. I established an agricultural extension in Alabama and founded an industrial research laboratory. Due to the single crop cultivation of cotton, the soil of many farms throughout the South had become worthless. This led to my invention of pioneering crop rotation. This invention had two main points. One urged farmers to plant peanuts and soybeans. I had to overcome racism and slavery. I also had to overcome being poor and dealing with racial discrimination. I ultimately became the Director of Agricultural Teaching and Research at Tuskegee Institute. Even though I got to go to college, I still had to work on the farm to pay for it. As a result of these obstacles, I became stronger. I then used what I learned in college to teach farmers how to rotate crops and use the extra peanuts in 300 different ways. Quote, 99% of failures come from people who have the habit of making excuses. I showed good character by not only being concerned by how smart my students were, but also who they were as people. I did this by installing virtues like neither looking up to the rich nor down to the poor. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Fannie Lou Hamer. I was born in Montgomery, Mississippi on October 6, 1917. I was the youngest of 20 children. Yeah, that's right, 20 children. My parents were Ella and James Townsend. When I was a kid, I loved reading and excelling in spelling bees and reciting poetry. But at age 12, I had to leave school to help support my parents. As an adult, I saw how bad it was for black people. Later, I married Perry Pap Hamer in 1945. One day, I could not vote, and I found out other black people couldn't vote. I began to organize and protest. I did a sit-in outside of a voting precinct. I helped organize the Freedom Summer in 1964, and Freedom Summer was about black people not being able to vote. White people made up laws like tax polls and literacy tests, which means we had to pay to vote. One day, me and 15 other people were trying to go vote, then suddenly we got shot at. Luckily, nobody was injured. During the 1964 National Democratic Convention, me and 63 others were trying to join, but we were not able. They tried to give them 2 votes, which was too little. MDPF did not accept it. Instead, I gave a speech. Then the president, Lyndon B. Johnson, cut me off to make an announcement. Many networks aired my complete speech that evening. One of my quotes were, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." In 1968, I became an honorary member of Delta Sigma Theta and Sorority Incorporated. In 1976, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Even though I was in the hospital, I continued to work for the next generation to come. Thank you so much for listening to my story.
My name is Stacey Abrams. Hi, my name is Stacey Yvonne Abrams. I was born to Robert and Carolyn Abrams on December 9, 1973 in Gulfport, Mississippi. I am the second oldest of 6 siblings. As I grew up, I enjoyed writing and reading. At the age of 17, I graduated high school and studied in Yale Law School from 1996 to 1999. Later in my life, I wrote my first book, Stacy's Extraordinary Words. I have now written 14 books. I've written kids' books, romance novels, and mystery books. A famous quote of mine is, "Don't let the setbacks set you back." I am now a politician, lawyer, voting rights activist, and author who served in the Georgia House of Representatives from 2007 to 2017. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Ida B. Wells. I was born on July 16, 1862 on the Bowling Farm near Holly Springs, Mississippi. I was the eldest of 8 children. But by the age of 14, my mother, father, and infant brother died from the yellow fever epidemic in 1878. Keeping my family together, I continued to work. After moving to Memphis, Tennessee with my siblings, I found better jobs as a teacher. The Memphis Free Speech and Headlight newspaper was co-owned by me, and segregation and inequality were my topics. A quote that I love is, "The white man's victory soon became complete by fraud, violence, intimidation, and murder." As soon as I moved to Chicago in 1894, I worked to advance Black equality and Black power. My accomplishments include founding the city's first Black kindergarten and organizing Black women. Generations of Black people and community leaders have benefited from my work. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Asad Shakur. Early life. At the age of 3, I moved in with my grandparents to the house where my grandfather was raised in North Carolina. My grandparents opened a restaurant on their front property. My early childhood was spent working for my grandparents in the restaurant at the beach. History facts. I am an American political activist who was a member of the Black Liberation Army, BLA, in 1977. I was convicted in the first-degree murder of State Trooper Winter Forrester during a shootout on the New Jersey Turnpike in 1973. I escaped from prison in 1979. A quote. Nobody in the world, nobody in history has ever gotten their freedom by appealing to the moral sense of the people who were oppressing them. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Morfield Story, and I'm one of the creators of the NAACP. We were founded on February 12, 1909. Our organization, the NAACP, is an acronym standing for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. It was founded by a group including Mary White Overton, Oswald Garrison Billard, W.E.B. Du Bois, Ida B. Wells Barnett, and Mary Church Terrell. We were founded because of the violence and discrimination against African Americans. We fought for civil rights, human rights, the removal of racial discrimination, desegregation, fair vote registration, and the advancement for African Americans across America. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Matt Keegis. I was born in the Bahamas on July 10th. My favorite quote that I made is, "The message is in the music," by me. As an entrepreneur, Beachstone Counseling is the business that I have created, and this is why I wanted to become a therapist. I wanted to become a therapist after taking a class in high school called Law Studies. In that class, I had to play a role of a psychotherapist. And then I came across a terminology that I did not understand. So it made me curious to learn more about psychology. Terminology was learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is the term used to describe a person who has accepted helplessness in a situation as its only meaning to live. I wanted to learn more about why a person would stay in that state of mind. So when I got to college, I studied in psychology to become a therapist. Why I became a rapper? I became a rapper because I want to explore my talents and leave messages for the next generation to find out. And these are the songs that I made. I made The Problem with Givers, No ID, I'm in My Bag, I'm Black, Keep the Change, 10 Seconds Hot, and that's it for now. Author. The books that I made are The Tablets Ran Away and Go to School Every Day. These books are based on real life stories. The end.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Omolana. I was born on February 18, 1951. My birthplace was in Atlanta, Georgia. My parents are Hosea Williams and Junetta T. Williams. In 1970, me and my father and I, Hosea, first created a place called the People Survivor Theater. We made that place because we help and feed the homeless. So that is why we first called it People Survivor Theater. And we entertain people so more people can go there. Quote, it's only what you will do for others that will last. Okay, I have been on battlefield for the Lord for 30 years. I have written several plays. One of my plays were called My Soul. The other one was called Life of the King. Hosea feed the homeless and hungry upon his passing in November 2000. I became the CEO organization. Thank you for listening.
My name is Mukasa Dada. I was given that name by the President of Uganda in 1973 when I visited that country. It means God of the Water. I was born Willie Ricks on February 18, 1943 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. When I was a teenager, I met Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and I joined the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC. While working with SNCC, we organized the Lowndes County Freedom Organization, the LCFO. In 1966, I also helped with the March Against Fear. There, I spoke on the importance of Black power. I also helped organize the Black Panther Party, the original Black Panther Party, which was inspired by the LCFO Panther. Black power, as I see it today, is Pan-Africanism. We have to educate and organize our people in order for all worldwide to have power. Obstacles we constantly face were being attacked with tear gas, shot at, and beaten by the police and ordinary white citizens. Even our churches and office buildings were burned to the ground. Black power! Black power means so much. Think, black is beautiful. Black is powerful. Whites can't hurt us and we're never scared of whites. We can own our own land, schools, and businesses. Black power! Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Beyonce. I was born September 4th, 1981 in Houston, Texas. I am 41 years old. I have 3 children. Their names are Blue Ivy, Rumi, and Sir Carter. My husband is Jay-Z. My parents are Tina and Matthew Knowles. I am a famous entertainer. I first became famous as the lead singer of Destiny's Child. I have traveled to so many different countries in my world tour. My favorite number is 4 because my birthday, my husband's birthday, and my mom's birthday is on the 4th day of the month. So is my wedding anniversary. As a young performer, I created an alter ego named Sasha Fierce to handle my stage fright. By 2010, stage fright was no longer a problem. So bye-bye, Sasha Fierce. I have won 29 Grammy Awards. I became my own boss when I established Ivy Park on March 31st, 2016. It's a clothing line. 2 things I like to say is I don't like to gamble, but if there's one thing I'm willing to bet on, it's myself. And we have to teach our girls that they can reach as high as humanly possible. Thank you for listening.
It feels so good to be alive. Got all my family by my side. Couldn't wipe this black off if I tried. That's why I lift my head with pride. Ooh, yeah. Now break it down now. To be alive. To be alive. Ooh, give me some horns. Yeah, strings. Oh. Ladies, sing. Gonna leave footprints in the sky. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good. It feels good. I got 1,000,000 miles on me. They want to see how far I go. The path was never paved with gold. Yeah, we worked and built this on our own. Ain't nobody knock it if they tried. This is hustle personified. Look how we've been fighting to stay alive. So when we win, we will have pride. Do you know how much we have cried? How hard we had to fight. It feels so, so, so good. Huh. I got all my sisters by my side. Oh, black or beautiful child. Are you sitting on top of the world again? Huh. I got 1,000,000 miles on me. They want to see how far I go. The path was never paved with gold. We fought and built this on our own. Ain't nobody knock it if they try. This is hustle personified. Look how we've been fighting to stay alive. So when we win, we will have pride. Do you know how much we have cried? How hard we had to fight. It feels so good to be. Oh, darling, it's a celebration for you. Yeah. You're doing everything they said you couldn't do. Oh, yeah. Baby, lift your head, yeah. It feels so good to be alive. It feels so good to be alive. Got all my sisters by my side. I was sitting on top of the world
and I'm doing my Hero Shiro project on Quilombo Academic and Cultural Institute. Quilombo was created by Aminato Umoja and it started in August of 2005. Quilombo began a full day of homeschool tutorial program in a small house in Decatur, Georgia. With 13 children, Ayo Nkita Mayalo was the first teacher and soon became Quilombo's lead teacher, and later our co-director. Mark Ogunwale Lomax suggested the name Quilombo Pan-African Institute. He is the pastor at First African Church. In 2004, Quilombo started its first fundraiser, selling African clothes and getting donations so that Quilombo could grow. The planning committee for the Freedom School began in the Fellowship Hall of First African Church in 2000. A big obstacle for Quilombo is that Quilombo has to deal with not having enough resources. Quilombo only has 3 teachers that are full-time, and the rest of the teachers have other jobs besides Quilombo. Quilombo moved from First African Church and then came to Hillside Presbyterian Church in 2000. My quote, Quilombo's legacy is really about closing the opportunity gap for children of African descent. Quilombo fosters an academically excellent and culturally relevant education that produces students who are equipped to succeed globally and are committed to social justice. Quilombo does have positive character traits. Quilombo is a school that teaches black children about their history and how black children in the U.S. are as relevant as anybody else. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ashton Jones, and I'm doing my Hero Shiro project on LeBron James. My name is LeBron Raymond James Sr., and I was born December 30th, 1984 in Akron, Ohio. And I am the only child of a single mother, Gloria James, who was only 16 when she had me. My mom and I were living poor, moving from house to house. In high school, I attended St. Vincent St. Mary, a private school in Akron. In high school, I was getting recruited to be on ESPN to be one of the best NBA prospects, even being the face of Sports Illustrated when I was 17, and being named the chosen one. I won Ohio Mr. Basketball 3 times, and I won multiple state championships. After high school, I had the opportunity to go to any college I wanted to go to, but I chose to declare for the 2003 NBA draft. Before the draft, I was already projected to go number 1 overall by the Cavs, the team that selected me. I spent 7 years with the Cavs, winning many things. Then in 2010, I went to the Miami for 4 years, winning back-to-back championships. Then I left again. Then in 2014, I went back to the Cavs for 4 years, even winning a championship, before leaving again in 2018 to the Lakers, where I won another championship in 2020. On February 7, 2023, I surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, an all-time leading scorer record. In 2004, I started the LeBron James Family Foundation, whose mission is to positively affect the lives of children and young adults through education and co-curricular educational activity. The I Promise School is a school in Akron, Ohio, my hometown, that helps the less fortunate kids attend a school that provides transportation, food, a bike, and a helmet, and extracurricular activities all for free. How will I commit to institution building? I will use my education in physical science to get a job in physical education and provide a professional level of strength to a community that wouldn't get it if I weren't doing it. My quote, "Don't be afraid of failure. This is the way to succeed."
Hi, I'm Oprah Winfrey. I'm an African-American talk show host, producer, actress, author, and philanthropist. I had my own talk show once, The Oprah Winfrey Show. I was ranked as the most influential woman, and I was the world's only black billionaire once.
I was born January 29, 1954, Oprah Gail Winfrey, which I changed to Oprah Gail Winfrey. My mom is Vernetta Lee, and my father is Vern Winfrey. I was raised with my grandma, Hattie Mae, and eventually at one point I had to move in with my mom and then my dad.
My foundation is called the Oprah Winfrey Foundation. It supports education and empowerment for women, children, and their families. I made that to encourage people to make a difference and to help women and children rise to their full potential. I also have a school in South Africa for girls, providing them with leadership and educational opportunities for them. My quote is, surround yourself with people who are going to take you higher. This is my bibliography. Oprah out.
Hi, my name is Rihanna. I grew up in Barbados with a Barbadian father and a Guyanese mother. As a child, I listened to Caribbean music such as reggae as well as American hip hop and R&B. I especially enjoyed singing and went a high school talent show singing a Mariah Carey song. About the same time, I started a girl group with two friends, and in 2004, I attracted the attention of Evan Rogers, an American record producer. He helped me record a demo that led to an audition with the rapper Jay-Z, who at the time headed the Def Jam record label. In my professional career, I adopted my middle name, Rihanna. I auditioned for American record producer Evan Rogers, who invited me to the United States to record demo tapes. After signing with Def Jam in 2005, I soon gained recognition with the release of my first two studio albums, both of which were influenced by Caribbean music and peaked within the top 10 of the US Billboard 200 chart. In 2017, I launched my cosmetics company, Fenty Beauty, under LVMH Kendall brands. I own 50% of Fenty Beauty. The partnership was worth $10 million and would see me release various beauty products. The first installment of Fenty Beauty was released on September 8, 2017 in stores and online, available in over 150 countries. It included an array of products including foundations, highlighters, bronzers, blush compacts, lip glosses, and barbing sheets. It was praised for its diverse range and for all skin colors. Time magazine named Fenty Beauty as one of the 25 best inventions of 2017. In February 2013, I presented my first women's fashion collective at London Fashion Week for British brand. In March 2015, I was chosen as the new face of Dior, making me the first black woman to be the face of the brand. In 2006, when I was 18 years old, I created the Believe Foundation, a public organization meant to help children with potentially terminal illnesses such as cancer, AIDS, and leukemia. The Clara Lionel Foundation that I started in 2012 in tribute to my grandparents funds education and healthcare programs in impoverished communities around the world, providing hope and opportunity to millions of children. One of my favorite quotes is, you may never be good enough for everybody, but you will always be the best for somebody.
Goal: a presentation on the life of Pele and his foundation. Hi, my name is Pele, but my real name is Edson Arantes do Nascimento. I was born on October 23, 1940 in Três Corações, Brazil. I was one of, if not the best and most famous soccer player in the world. I won 3 World Cup titles in 1958, 1962, and 1970. I'm also called Ohai, the King, because of my unique soccer skills. I have scored 1,281 goals and 1,363 games, and I am the joint top goal scorer for the Brazilian national team. I got my nickname because as a young player, while I was playing in goal, one of my teammates was unable to pronounce my name, which I'll Pele instead, which loosely translates from Portuguese to tough skin. But I had expressed dislike of the nickname in interviews. I had a happy childhood. My name is Edson. Then they started calling me Pele. I didn't like it, so I started arguing with everyone. The Pele Foundation was created in 2018, over 40 years after I retired from football. My organization represents many things, including world peace, international children's rights, and poverty alleviation. In 1994, I was given a UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador Award. It recognizes people or organizations that have used their influence to contribute to world peace. UNESCO also awarded me the Children in Need Award in 2012. I created the Pele Foundation to support other organizations and to help children in need, and my foundation has been around for over 5 years. Success is no accident. It's hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you're doing or learning to do. Bye, Pele. Thank you and have a good day.
Hosea Williams. My name is Hosea Lorenzo Williams. I was born on January 5th, 1926 in Attapogus, Georgia. My mother was blind. When I was 10 years old, my mother died. I stayed with my grandparents, Leela and Turner Williams. I ran away from home because I was trying to escape a lynching mob. The reason I was being chased is because I was friends with a white girl. I ran to Tallahassee, Florida. Once the United States joined World War II, I joined an all-black unit. While I was in the war, I made my way through the ranks, gaining the title of Staff Sergeant. While I was in the war, I was a lone survivor of an enemy bombing attack that hospitalized me for a year. Surviving the bombing, I gained a Purple Heart and now have a permanent limp. Once I came back to the United States, I was drinking from a white-only water fountain when I was attacked and nearly beaten to death by a group of white people. The attackers beat me so severely that they thought I was dead, so they called a funeral home. The people from the funeral home saw a slight pulse. I was hospitalized for a month. I was still in my uniform. Once I got out of the hospital, I got my high school diploma at the age of 23. I later went on to get a bachelor's and master's degree in chemistry at Morris Brown College and Clark Atlanta University. I joined the NAACP, but later joined SCLC and worked closely with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I was associated with Martin Luther King until his death on April 4th, 1968. After leaving a meeting in 1971, I saw a homeless man, and instead of giving him money, I gave him a fish sandwich. That inspired me to start Hosea Feeds the Homeless. My organization feeds homeless people on holidays such as Thanksgiving and Christmas. My organization has helped 40,000 people a day, or in one day. The quote is, if we gotta fight and die for America, why should we be treated like slaves? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shashu Welcome, and my Hero Shiro project is on the Ethiopian World Federation. The Ethiopian World Federation was founded in 1937 to foster support among Ethiopians and gather support for the Ethiopians during the Italian invasion of 1935 to 1941. It initially directed at anyone willing to defend the Ethiopian subjects and empire against the fascist aggressors, but later became associated with the Rastafari movement. Eventually, a plot of land in Ethiopia was granted to the EWF for the purpose of housing people returning home. Dr. Bain merges the pro-Ethiopian organization into the new Ethiopian World Association, which adopted Rabbi Floyd's Ethiopia Awaken as its national anthem and elected Dr. Lorenzo H. King as the first president of Welcome and the Methodist Church. Their aim is to uphold Ethiopia's unity and power by encouraging love and goodwill among Ethiopians at home and abroad, to demonstrate the ancient Ethiopian culture among its citizens, to put an end to abuses and relieve oppression, and create for ourselves and descendants a future that is comparable to our creation and the ideal manhood and God's purpose when He created us. The motto is we are who we are and what we are, which means is that there are things in ourselves we cannot change no matter how hard we try. This is my bibliography. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Mallie Davis, and this is my slideshow. I was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1969. My parents are Mel Davis and Loretta Davis. But in 8th grade, my parents split up in 1982. I attended the United States Naval Academy where I played varsity basketball and later earned a degree in political science. My foundations. I started my activism in Black History Month of 1993
later co-founding the National African American Club. In 2007, I became a co-founder of the Davis Bozeman Johnson Law Firm and became an attorney fighting for civil rights, and on the behalf of our people and our community. I later made the Black Man Lab, and Let Us Make Men. The Black Man Lab is an organization for young black men and elders that discuss issues and learn from each other in the black community. What is the Davis Bozeman Johnson Law Firm? The Davis Bozeman Law Firm is a black-owned firm in Decatur, Georgia. I co-founded it in 2007. In the Davis Bozeman Law Firm, we support black people with seriously injured civil rights, family wrongful deaths, and car accidents. My favorite quote is, "Don't show me your theory, show me your work." This quote was created by Baba Hembo Afrique. This is my big opportunity. The end.
Hi, my name is Areze Obidike Agani Odimbe, and this is my presentation on N'COBRA. History. The National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America is a mass-based coalition organized for the sole purpose of obtaining reparations for African descendants in the United States. N'COBRA's founding meeting, September 26, 1987, was convened for the purpose of broadening the base of support for the long-standing reparation movement. Commitment to empowerment. N'COBRA's primary focus is on obtaining reparations for the African descendants in the United States. It is a part of the international movement for reparations. Founders / key people. Amari Obadeli and Chokoye Lumumba founded N'COBRA. My grandmother, and Jerry Algani, who was the National Board of Directors for N'COBRA, and she was the National Secretary for N'COBRA. Why are African descendants entitled to reparations? The transatlantic slave trade and chattel slavery has more appropriately called the Holocaust of Enslavement, or MAFA, was a crime against humanity of millions of Africans who were brutalized and murdered. Facts. Since N'COBRA has embraced public education, mobilization, organization, and more recently transformation to obtain reparations. Quote, a UN panel has said, the U.S. owes black people reparations. Bibliography.
'Toni Morrison by Sarai Mike. 'Toni Morrison by Sarai Mike. Hello, my name is Chloe Anthony Wilford, or as others know me, Toni Morrison. I was born February 18, 1931 in Norton, Ohio. My early life was in the American Midwest. I had a family who loved black culture, storytelling, songs, and folk tales. I eventually grew to love these things too. After teaching at Texas Southern University for 2 years, I attended a teaching position at Howard University from 1957 to 1964. In 1965, I became a fiction editor at Random House, a publishing company. I worked for so many years. In 1984, I began writing at the Stanford University. Then I retired in 2006. My first book was The Bluest Eye, that was made in 1970. The book is about a girl who tends to love white beauty and longs to have blue eyes. Beloved, a 1987 novel that was made in the month of September, was set in the American Civil War. April 12, 1861. Other books I made are Tired Baby, 1981, Sula, 1973, Song of Solomon, 1977, and Remember, 2004. After all the books I made, I was known as a strong black author and an inspiration to people by becoming a writer. There weren't many when I grew up. My books focus on Afrocentric history. I passed away August 5th, 2019 due to pneumonia in Bronx, New York City. Although I am in another world, I still watch over my people. I just know that many people will never forget my books and my face because I am known worldwide. Something that is loved is never lost. Toni Morrison. And here's my bibliography. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.
My name is Josiah, and this is my project on Lewis Latimer. I was born in Chelsea, Massachusetts on September 4th, 1848, and I was the fourth child of George and Rebecca Latimer. Some quotes I have are, "Tomorrow may be fair, however stormy the sky today, and for whom would live if life held no allurements." Much of my childhood was spent helping my family earn money for my household. I worked with my father at his barber shop during the nighttime, hanging wallpaper with him. Later, I would start selling newspapers like the Abolitionist paper. I also had a job as an office boy during the Civil War. When the Civil War started, I lied about my age to sign up for the Navy. I worked as a cabin boy on a gunboat until the end of the Civil War in 1865. After the Civil War was over, I worked as an office boy for a greeting company. When I grew older, I got interested in drafting and mechanical drawing after helping Alexander Graham with drafting the telephone, and people recognized my talents. Soon I was setting up public lighting systems for cities. I traveled places such as New York, Montreal, Canada, Paris, and London to install light bulbs and to teach people to create and maintain them. I had to learn French to speak with my co-workers, and also my wife and I learned French while living in London. I began tired of my job and I needed a more challenging position, so I started creating my own inventions. Eventually, I was hired by Thomas Edison as a chief draftsman. I also invented many other things like flushing water closet, machine gun, and air conditioner, etc. I also found time to be active in my community as I founded a Unitarian church in my neighborhood. This is my bibliography. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Josephine Baker. I was born on June the 3rd, 1903 in St. Louis, Missouri. My mother's name is Carrie McDonald and my father's name is Eddie Carson. At the age of 15, I married a man named William Howard Baker and I took his last name. When I turned 17 years old, I would perform with a lot of African American performers, but wouldn't be treated fairly due to the fact that I was black. At the age of 19, I moved to Paris, and that's where me being a star began. In 1925, I moved to Paris to dance at the Theatre des Chevaliers in La Rue Migrants. I went on to become one of the most popular music hall entertainers in France. I loved Paris so much. It wasn't like the U.S. here. Here you were treated like a person. But things like separate water fountains and having to move on the side of the sidewalk whenever a white person came through didn't exist here. Around the same time, I opened up a nightclub called Chez Josephine. The reason why I opened up the nightclub was simply because black people, even in Paris, didn't have the chance to become a dancer or a singer. So I opened up the nightclub so they could have the chance of being that. In the summer of 1940, I became a spy for the French Renaissance in World War II. To gather information, I would do things like flirt and eavesdrop on conversations. But when it came to giving information, I'd do things like writing what I heard in invisible ink and sending it to the French Renaissance in secret. After the war, I was rewarded the French Renaissance Medal. In 1953, I adopted 12 children to prove to the world that racial harmony was possible. For a long while, I was a single mother to 12 children. I would get help from ex-husbands every once in a while, but it really wouldn't work out. I passed away on April 14, 1975. A year later, the book Josephine came out in 1976, followed by a movie called Josephine Baker's Story in 1991. They even have my famous quote, "The secret to the fountain of youth is to think youth thoughts."
Kobe Bryant by Richard Adele Satchel. Early life. I was born on August 23, 1978 in Philadelphia. I'm the youngest of 3 children and the only son of Pamela Cox Bryant, and also the former NBA player Joe Bryant. I was also the maternal nephew of the NBA player John Cubby Cox, and my parents named me after the famous beef of Kobe in Japan, which they saw on a restaurant menu. My middle name, Bean, comes from my father's nickname, Jelly Bean. I started playing basketball when I was 3, and the Lakers were my favorite team when I was growing up. When I was 6, my father retired from the NBA and moved his family to Rieti, Italy, to continue playing professional basketball. After 2 years, they moved to multiple places in Italy, and then, after, I became accustomed to my new lifestyle and learned how to speak fluent Italian. I went to Lower Merion High School, and there I played basketball on the varsity team. I could play all 5 positions, and I averaged 31.1 points, 10.4 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 3.8 blocks, and 2.3 steals. These are my quotes. There are multiple things. There's only one thing you can control. I can't relate to lazy people. I've played through injuries before, during, and after games. Everything negative, pressure, challenges is all an opportunity for me to rise. But my favorite quote for me is, life is too short to get bogged down and be discouraged. You have to keep moving. You have to keep going. You have to put one foot in front of the other, smile, and just keep on rolling. Institutions I built. I built a Mamba for Life Center that focuses primarily on house black people. I also built a Mamba Sports Academy in 2018 for black people who don't have enough money to be at other sports centers and academies. As well, in 2009, I established a sports fund with Make-A-Wish children who can't play sports like that. And here's my bibliography. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Ikem Odembe, and this is my Hero Shiro project on Haile Selassie. Greetings, my name is Rastafari Haile Selassie, and I was born on July 23rd in 1892 in Ethiopia. My birth name was Tafari Makanin, but as I was crowned king and emperor of Ethiopia in 1930, I was given the name Haile Selassie. I am the descendant of King Solomon and Queen Makeda. I was also cousins and close friends with Menelik II. I, Haile Selassie, was an emperor from Ethiopia to 1930 from 1974. As emperor, I desired to lead and modernize my country. I also led Ethiopia into the mainstream of post-World War II African politics. I introduced Ethiopia to the League of Nations, the United Nations, and I made Addis Ababa the major center for the Organization of African Unity, which is now called the African Union. I, Haile Selassie, went to Jamaica on April 21st, 1966. During my time in Jamaica, I encouraged many Rastafarian elders to learn about the Ethiopian Orthodox faith while in Jamaica. I was one of the original founders of the Rastafarian movement, and I sought to teach the Rasta community about Rastafarianism. I was crowned King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and conquering lion from the tribe of Judah, and I took this title along with my wife, Empress Menen, which has never been done before. My quote, "Until philosophy which holds one race superior, another is inferior, finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Until that day, the dream of lasting peace will remain but a fleeting illusion to be pursued but never attained." Thank you.